Here. Spiz,
Present.
Gingell,
Here.
Powell,
Here.
Luce.
Here,
You have quorum?
thank you. Please join me in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of January 14th. Who would like to second? I have support from Commissioner Taylor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Next item is approving the agenda. I have a motion by Commissioner Spiz, support from Commissioner Taylor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, our agenda is approved. We've arrived at our first public comment. This is public comment for items on the agenda. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment for items on the agenda? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Communications has 4 items. They are all reports. The first report is from Haven. The second report is the Oakland County Medical Examiner's Annual Report. The third report is from our animal shelter, and the last report is the Children's Village and Juvenile Justice System ARPA Assessment Mid-Project Report that I briefly mentioned at caucus at our last meeting. So they're embarking on assessing the Children's Village's buildings and what needs to be done and what needs to be different. Any questions on communications? All in favor, oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Erickson Gall.
Did we have a motion? I was going
We have a motion by Commissioner Erickson Gall. We have support from Commissioner Spiz. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, our communications are approved. We move on to our Sheriff's Office recommendations. And I will defer to Gaia. There are a number of grant acceptances on here. The first is a grant acceptance from the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards for the 2025 Continuing Professional Education Program. The next is a grant acceptance for the fiscal year 2025 overtime reimbursement funds. The third item is a grant application for the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Marine Safety Program. Another grant application for the 2026 High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Program. The next 2 items are agreements. The first is an interlocal agreement with the City of Birmingham to join the Oakland County Sheriff's Office Special Weapons and Tactics Team. And the next item is an interlocal agreement with the Township of Bloomfield for the same team. So, who would like to make a motion? I have a motion by Commissioner Gingell, support from Commissioner Powell. So, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So Gabe here, Sheriff Fiscal Officer, and Major Wondrich with me. He oversees the law enforcement side of the agency. And then we have a number of subject matter experts with us today in case you have any detailed questions on these items. So the first one is, this is a new funding source that we got last year. So MCOLS has awarded us $629,000 in continuing education programs. So this is for MCOLS certification, they now have to do continuing ed. So this amount of money, it requires 8 hours of mental health crisis training and 16 hours of agency selected in-service training. So this is a new program. We're obviously very pleased to get this large amount of money, and we're trying to make sure that we spend it accordingly. The next one is grant acceptance from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. It's up to $217,405. It's up $21,740.50 per task force officer. And this is in the city of Pontiac. It's good through, actually it started at the beginning of this fiscal year and it runs through September 30th of 2025. The next one is our annual grant application to the Michigan DNR for the Marine Safety Program. We're applying for $670,401, which is, we always apply for the maximum that we're allowed, and as you know, we usually get an award that's much less than that. So we'll be back when we get the acceptance. The next application is our annual high intensity drug trafficking area or HIDA program. We are applying for $132,300. That breaks down to $119,700 for overtime and $12,600 for communications. This is our annual application that we do, and they require it a year ahead of time. So this is actually for 2026. We already have our funding for 2025. And then the next item is a new interlocal agreement with the city of Birmingham. They would like to add a SWAT member. And then the next one is with the Charter Township of Bloomfield. They would also like to add a member to our SWAT team. And we're happy to answer any questions on any of those items.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell?
So with the SWAT team, is that just, you said one individual, and then they'll be to a master team? And
Yeah.
this is like an on-call thing, so when
Yes.
we got stuff going on in different cities, they just kind of move as a unit
Correct.
together? Okay,
Yeah, they train with us. Right now we have Beverly Hills, Berkeley, Farmington Hills, Ferndale, Royal Oak as part of our SWAT team already. So it's a multi-jurisdictional team. So if there's an incident anywhere, we assemble as a group and handle the situation.
so even outside of the locations that you mentioned, that SWAT team has the right to go anywhere throughout Oakland County, correct?
And we're pretty much the main SWAT team for the majority of jurisdictions in Oakland County.
Okay,
Just Sunday, we assisted the city of Farmington with a SWAT call.
okay, and then, so Farmington has their own police?
Own police,
Correct,
but not a
and
SWAT
we
team.
partner with them, not a SWAT team, okay. So is a lot of the other municipalities, they all lean on our SWAT team to help them if
Majority
they're
of them
not
do,
the
yes.
county?
Correct.
Okay, and who leads that?
The county, it's a
No, I'm
county
talking about who leads our SWAT, whole operation?
through the sheriff's office.
Uh-huh.
Lieutenant Hicks is the SWAT team commander right now.
Oh, Lieutenant Hicks, and he's stationed at Pontiac, right? Okay, what's your name again?
Marshman.
Okay, Marshman, I thought it was Marshman, okay. But Marshman, you help with that, right? Or you on the drug thing?
He's
Detective Bureau.
detectives.
Oh, you detectives, okay.
For the
I
ATF,
didn't
he's here
know
for the
that.
ATF
You know, I got a
one.
lot of folks at the city, so, okay, all right, thank you very much. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Cavell?
For you, so I have a question about the SWAT thing on ENF. Also, about the patrol services ATF overtime. Forgive me for not
Yeah,
knowing what we're talking about. So can you kind of talk more about how much the overtime, how much this will cover for the overtime? Like, I know it's $217,000, but
Are you talking the ATF
yeah.
in Pontiac? So
Yeah.
it covers 10 of our detectives to help assist. We have 2 ATF agents embedded in the city of Pontiac with our detectives because there's a lot of gun crimes there. So anytime there's a investigation that involves a gun, we assist the ATF and they assist us. And if there's overtime involved during the investigation, they'll cover some of the overtime.
How long have we had an ATF person on here?
Prior to COVID, there was one agent, they pulled out during COVID. And I believe in 2022, we signed an MOU with them and we've had 2, I believe, since 2022.
It's funny, remember the gun buyback? How the sheriff's office didn't participate in Pontiac? And the ATF Detroit office also told us they would not participate. We were talking about ATF with gun crime. It's just an interesting side note, that's not the point, but it's just good to know, so thank you for that information.
You're welcome.
With ENF for SWAT, it says that we got rid of, in 2021, the $2,500 membership fee for joining SWAT, or for joining the Oakland SWAT team partnership. So then, how do we bill these communities for using our taxpayer-funded services?
We don't bill communities when we assist them. We have mutual aid with all the communities here in Oakland County. So if somebody calls needing help, we're gonna be there to help them.
And the municipality covers their employee costs. So the only, we cover they train with the team, so the training is included with the multi-jurisdictional training for the team. But their actual employee benefits and overtime and everything are paid by the individual municipality who's participating.
Sure, and the training though is a cost that we bear. We don't,
Yes, for the whole team, so they're all trained exactly the same.
and we don't ask them to reimburse that expense.
Yeah, they cover all the other employee costs.
Well, that seems like we missed that when we just did the law enforcement services contracts, because we also did a bunch of hourly overtime rates for non-partner agencies. So SWAT not being included feels incorrect, so please make E and F separate so I can vote no.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so we are, the first 4 items, we can vote as a whole, and the next 2 will vote individually.
You have 8 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, thank you. Our next item to vote on is the agreement with Birmingham.
We need a motion?
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Spiz and second by Commissioner Ginzel.
Seven yeas, 1 nay.
All right, motion carries. Commissioner Gershenson, are you making a motion or you have a question?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gershenson, support from Commissioner Ginzel. For the agreement with.
Seven yeas, 1 nay.
Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is from the Circuit Court. It's a grant application to the State Court Administrative Office for the fiscal year 2025-26 Status Offender Diversion Program. Would like to make I have a motion by Commissioner Gershenson, support from Commissioner Spiz. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Bujak. I am the manager of court business operations for Circuit Court. And the Circuit Court, as you know, has juvenile cases. Juvenile cases have been going through a lot of reform, and we are looking for more community-based programs wherever possible. The Oakland Mediation has come to the juvenile court and said, we have a great program for your youth and families, and we'd like you to participate. We'd like to offer services. At the same time, the state is offering us additional grant funding for more community-based services. So it seems an excellent opportunity for us to apply for that funding to offer this additional service for our status offenders, incorrigibility, truancy, things like that, that aren't necessarily rising to the level of formal court intervention, but could lay a foundation for formal court intervention or behavior that leads to other worse behavior. We would like to apply for this grant to cover the funding for that as a pilot project.
Thank you. And I am happy that you are finding new grants to apply for, so I'm proud of that. Thank you.
Yeah. We are looking every day.
Commissioner Erickson Galt.
Thank you, Chair. I realize this is a new program, but have there been similar efforts for Oakland Mediation Center offering similar services that we can compare
I
their
don't-
effectiveness?
I don't think that we have seen anything specific with Oakland Mediation in our juvenile area targeting these types of interventions and cases. They have gone through, Oakland Mediation tells us they have gone through the SCAO training and that their mediators will be specifically trained to deal with youth and families encountering these difficulties.
That's gonna be my next question. Having gone through OMC's training, I went through the general civil. And so there'll be a special training for these.
It is my understanding there is a special training that the mediators that will participate in this program will have passed.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I'm looking at you.
No, I got you, Chris. You're good.
All right, roll call please. Or prompt the vote.
Never mind your question.
yeas, 0 nays.
Motion
Thank you very
carries,
much.
thank you.
Thanks.
The next two items are from Health and Human Services. They're both grant applications. The first to Eagle Water Resources Division for the 2025-26 Inland Lake Beach Monitoring Program. And the second is an application to the Michigan State Police for the 2025 Burn State Crisis Intervention Program. I have a motion by Commissioner Gingell, support from Commissioner Powell. And, we have Leanne Stafford here by video to speak to these items.
Good morning, everyone. So one of our favorite topics, right, is around beaches. So we're here to present one of the grants that we received to help pay for our sampling program in the summer. As you remember, we use sanitarians, our student sanitarians, so people that are in school for public health come in, and this is one of their responsibilities throughout the summer is to do the sampling at the beaches. And so I always like to give a little summary because I know these are always the questions. We have about 250 public and semi-public beaches in Oakland County. 50 public are really your state parks that have beaches, and then your semi-public are your subdivisions, things like that. So we try to do all 50 public beaches every year, and then we rotate every 5 years for the semi-public beaches. So this grant that we are accepting, I think, is about $80,000. Again, helps pay for some of those resources that we need to use to do beach sampling, whether it be help pay for staffing or also in our laboratory.
Thank you. Commissioner Gershenson?
Thanks, Leanne. So I'm kind of on record as saying that sampling lakes once every 5 years is not enough. Are there any other grants that you're looking at?
We're always looking for grants that will allow us to increase the sampling. Again, it's this is an internship really for staff, so we try to engross them in the whole public health world. So Eagle, like I said, gives 3 grants for this. That just gets us through the 10 weeks of sampling now. But we're always looking for opportunities to expand that. So if someone sees one and they want to push it our way, right, we'd be willing to do additional sampling if we could find some additional grants.
So the last time you came to us with this, I told you I would contact the MishCorps, which is has volunteers that test lakes, and we've used them in the past. So I did contact them. I have asked them to put forth a proposal. And once I receive it, I'd like to run it by you, and hopefully we can utilize their services as well.
Yeah, I think we just need to talk about what they test for and make sure that it's
Right.
the elements for us to be able to close a beach or at least post an advisory. So, yes.
Right.
And what method they use.
Yeah, don't give a report.
Thank you. I will go to Commissioner Cavell, and then I would like everybody to know regarding our agenda says grant application to Eagle for the beach monitoring program. It's a grant acceptance. So please change that motion. Commissioner Cavell?
Yeah, so Leanne, this says you're receiving then $80,000 for the beach monitoring? And so, okay, and that does all these things, so then, just Commissioner Gershenson, when you talk about wanting to double it, just for context, right, this, is there a
I knew you
local
were gonna
match
go.
required for this?
There is not a local match required for this.
Okay, so this is all state money?
This is all state money that they are giving us, yes. We get 3 grants, that 80,000, we get another one for 44, and then another very small one for right at 2,000.
Okay. So just for context, because it's a new year and I'm gonna do my little shtick that I always do. The health department is 2/3 funded from other people's money and a little bit of ours. And then 1/3 funded from local tax match. And so when you talk about wanting to do more of this, $80,000 is about 1/3 the cost of a sheriff's deputy. Not that it's just the sheriff's, but we could do IT, but that's the number that always comes up. And we just did the law enforcement rates, so we know that that's what they cost. So just saying, if you want to do more of that, the sheriff's department is 2/3 of our general fund budget from our money that we have the most purview over. And this is an entirely state-funded program that we're just a pass-through for. So it's other people's money versus our money, so we have more control over our money, which we spend on the sheriff and IT, but that's most of the general fund. So there are ways to double this for 80K.
Commissioner Ginzel, followed by Commissioner Gershenson.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm understanding Commissioner Cavell, because it sounds like what you're saying is we could eliminate sheriff deputies to take the money and spend it on people monitoring beach water. Is that what you were just suggesting in your commentary?
I don't know if you want me to, answer?
I just want to understand
Yes,
what this
I
point
would
was
like
on the
to hear the
topic that we're
Yeah,
trying to
cool,
vote on.
so there's a few
The
ways.
topic that we're trying to vote on is accepting a grant. It's not funding the health department. But if he's moving to say that he wants to fund the health department by cutting the sheriff's office, he should make a motion.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not moving to make anything, I'm just enlightening our team because not all of us are on finance and the budget's very big, so I wanna make sure we all know when we vote on things. That's using our money, and our money, the way we use that money, the budget is our value statement.
This is about accepting a
I
grant.
wasn't done
so
talking.
this is-
The
your
budget
comments
is
are
our
not
value
germane.
statement. The
They make
budget
no
is our value.
sense.
It's extremely germane because I'll say this because you weren't here for that meeting. But we had in this meeting last term where we voted to increase the sheriff's budget by $1 million, which is cool. If we want to do that, we can do that. And then the very next thing was we erased a line item, a person in Leanne's department that was for teen suicide prevention. We erased that position. Then the next thing we did is we erased the HIV prevention outreach specialist in schools. We erased that position. So I'm just highlighting that the decisions we make around this table impact people's lives. And the way we impact people's lives is by using their taxes to do that. So if we're not cognizant of that, then these meetings take 20 minutes and we don't do anything to help as many people as we could. And I know that's not what we all want to do. We all want to help as many people as possible. So I'm lifting that up and bringing that to light for all of us.
Thank you. I was going to comment, Commissioner Cavell likes to lift up his messages so everybody hears.
I mean, but we've heard
Thank you,
them,
Chair.
we've heard them
Yes.
for the last several years.
Thank you. Commissioner Gershenson?
Well, actually, that was my question, was he suggesting we take from another program to do this? But I can talk to him from offline.
Thank you. Anything for the last time, Commissioner Cavell?
That's what I'm saying, right? Budgets being value statements, when you spend money on something that you value, which means you can't spend money on other stuff, right? We use taxes to pay for this. So we either raise taxes on people or we use the money we have and we spend it on things we care about. That's how this works. It's not that complicated once you boil it down. It's extremely complicated because it's about values and feelings.
I think you're talking to the choir. We
Okay.
all understand this. Thank you. Any other comments? All right, would you prompt the vote, please?
Is this on both items? I'm sorry.
Yes, the grant acceptance and the grant application.
Sorry, 'cause I did have questions anyway.
Oh,
Yes, I do.
Oh, wait.
I'm sorry.
That's
Did
okay.
you have?
I was gonna vote yes on it anyway.
Okay, great.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
All right. Commissioner Spiz, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I was, and Leanne, I can touch base offline, but talking about the CIT program and based on incidents that happened within my district, not once, but twice. And I see this as more focused on suicide versus, crisis intervention training, which I know we've talked on as a potential option to try to improve that and finding funding that through the sheriff's department or somewhere else if need be, so that we can help reduce the gun violence across the entire county and get people trained and educated what to look for. So I didn't know if this was actually gonna cover some of that, or is it specific only to suicide?
Yeah, this is a little bit different for this grant here. And so I think in the past, maybe the sheriff's department has applied for this, but we are taking a different approach from the public health side, and really working with the medical examiners and, as you can see, that ministry department. And we are going to do some focus around suicide prevention, right? And how to also continue to work to get guns off the streets. And so this is really focused, a little bit different focus than the CIT program.
Okay, is it,
Actually, for 2 years, it's through 2026.
are you working with OCHN at all? Because I know they have a similar program.
We are not on this, we work with OCHN on many programs. I would need to talk with our team. I'm sure we're connecting with them on this. We
Thank you.
always do with all of our projects like this.
Thank you.
Trisha is a very close friend of ours, so.
I know, I saw her last week.
Thank you. So Commissioner Gershenson?
So on the first item we voted on for the sheriff,
The continuing professional education program?
right, the CIT type training was included in that, I believe. So
Okay.
there would be more
I saw-
money,
Mr. Workman here, so.
yeah.
All right, Health Department recommendations have been approved with a vote of 8-0. Thank you. All right, next item is public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment? If so, you would come to the front of the table and state your name and community you're from, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Oh, Lord. I just want to say I spoke earlier and I don't really want to reread my speech. I was going to, but why bother? You guys can easily go online and watch it. But the gist of this is the same thing. It's about the probate court. And this month, we have David White being sentenced and without his co-trustee, Thomas Brennan Frazier. But then on the 26th, Thomas Brennan Frazier, the attorney, would like to be paid for the services he's done to our assets and our inheritance since 2012. And so obviously, we don't want to go back in front of Judge O'Brien, but we're going to, and we're going to tell them, absolutely not. This guy does not deserve a dime. And I have the lawyer's oath here, and I just want to read it, because I know we have some lawyers in the room. And it says that they're going to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan. I will maintain the respect due to the courts of justice and judicial officers. I will not counsel or maintain any suit or proceeding which shall appear to me to be unjust, nor any defense except such as I believe to be honestly debatable under the law of the land. And then there's more, but Thomas Brennan Frazier was supposed to be protecting our assets, not abusing them. And because of his testimony that we got to hear in district court back in 23 and then in circuit court back in 2024, the jury only found my brother-in-law guilty and not the attorneys that helped him. And he is charged with conducting a criminal enterprise. That is why he's going to be looking at jail time, because of the conducting of a criminal enterprise. He did embezzle. He embezzled $370,000 back in 15 when we had a court order, because they should matter, to provide all the accounting for our assets. So what I want to do, because I want to stay within my 3 minutes. You guys are getting, I'm sure, used to our commentaries. And thank you to the people before that came in the legislative affairs and government operations. They came and spoke with us. And we are going to hopefully maybe get a little time at a meeting where there's nothing else on the agenda and maybe start a task force of some sort just to continue, because we filed an attorney grievance complaint. Now, we did it in 22 with the same people, and they sent it back saying there's nothing wrong. Well, Thomas Brennan Frazier has now been accused of helping a criminal get away with criminal activity. So there is definitely a problem. So this was just filed. We went to the Attorney Discipline Board. We're not really allowed to go to that. It's supposed to go to the Grievance Commission first. They say if they're bad or good, and then it goes to the Discipline Board. I'm tired of waiting. This is their courtroom. Obviously they're not being adjudicated in our courtroom. The attorneys have the possibility to get away with conducting a criminal enterprise and embezzling money with the other co-trustee, David White. So this is the complaint to the Attorney Discipline Board, okay? And then the other thing, we went to the State Bar, which we were gonna report back. It went well. They liked us in the beginning until we all spoke. There was about 12 of us that showed up, 9 of us spoke. There is no license for an attorney. They are a self-regulated group. That's why, hence, they have their own little board of how I can get away with stuff. So again, I'm learning all this not by choice, but because I'm wondering why there is no consequences for Thomas Brennan Frazier and his attorney. So lastly, because I know my time is up, Client Protection Fund, we're doing that also, and we're doing, that's it. So with that being said, I would like to let everybody know that the winery did sell. At the last meeting, we did find out that it was sold to a great restaurant and another family. So this building that's been in our building, our family since 1977, but couldn't be monitored properly by Fraser and Ehrlich, is now gone to another German family, the Heierbergs out of Ann Arbor. So Farmington, congratulations, but we would have liked to have maybe maintained it the way John White wanted it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Christina Booth. I'm a retired Detroit school teacher turned elder abuse activist. After being a victim, my mother being a victim of these corrupt probate court in Oakland County, I took to action to do something about it, to turn tragedy, because my mother did die under an illegal guardianship, to turn it into positive action. And since then, for about the past 8 years, I've been advocating, doing research, calling out corruption, going up to the state legislature, helping to create new bills for the state of Michigan to help the baby boomers coming in because they have their eyes on the prize. I have a tape recorded message from one of the judges over here that says they're looking forward to the baby boomers. I'm 73, I'm a baby boomer. Oh, sorry, I turned 74. 74, and that's who they're looking for. And on the tape, they said if they don't come in with dementia, we'll ensure that they do by giving a 5-minute exam with their doctor and ask a few questions, and they'll make sure you have dementia and need a guardianship. So if something's not done now, you're gonna have more Channel 7, Channel 2, Channel 4 news cameras parked over there in the parking lot for the next court hearing. The Guardian list that's posted currently, this was the Guardian list posted that I looked at because I took a class. I thought the judge would be more impressed if I took the Guardian class and then wanted to be guardian of my mother, even though I have medical background and everything else, plus 40 years as a retired Detroit teacher in caring for people. I raised 2 boys and no. When I went in there, I wasn't even allowed to speak. She already had a guardian appointed for my mother who had 400 wards. 400. Imagine 400. That's what he had. His name was on this list in 2018. Since then, we went up to the Attorney General and we showed them all the documentation. And we, that binder over there, the Fortress, was done by a special investigative reporter that came up from Chicago and lived up here. We kept her housed for a year, and she went in and out of the courts in Wayne, Macomb, Oakland, Washtenaw, investigating, and came up with that, the Fortress, which is online, and it was done by Gretchen Rachel Hammond, and it was forensically audited. We also submitted it to the Pulitzer Prize to get her award. Anyway, so in 2018, professional guardian list, all these, Munger, Jennifer Carney, Thomas Brennan Frazier, and John Young, the one that took my mother, fired after we presented enough evidence up in the Attorney General's office that they were corrupt. 2024, here we are, well, last year. Same ones on the list. John Munger, Amy Kradich from Thomas Brennan Frazier, Elizabeth Drury from John Young's office, Jennifer Carney, the same ones are there. The other day, when is that my 3-minute?
Yes.
Okay, just one more sentence that I know you do finances. when I went to go help somebody and do some investigative research with I needed the Epic book, which was located before COVID up at the law library. And I went up to the law library to get that book so I could look up, actually it was for her case, about the coexistence of the court-appointed one and the family member to see, because, and I went up to go get the Epic book. I knew exactly where it was, and I needed to sit down, read it, and make copies pertaining to her case and others. Guess what? No law library. I used that library when I was fighting my mother's case, and I won unsupervised visitation because I was able to look up the laws as a layperson. It was very simple for me. I went to court and put that judge against the wall with laws because they're not used to using laws. They're used to using their own corruption. Okay, no law library. I said, okay, well, where is the, down the hall, they used to have free legal service to help citizens out, lay citizens. I went down there, they said, oh no, we don't have that anymore. I said, what? You gotta be kidding. Again, I use those services to help write an attorney grievance. I said, how did that happen? These citizens need help because you got a corrupt system over there. And they said
Okay,
it was the board,
final statement.
and it was the Board of Commissioners. You need to put something back for citizens because you're operating under a corrupt system. It's been in the news. Here we are, news. Of all these victims, here's the same one, same judge, same one. She's a nurse and the judge would not allow her to have guardianship.
Okay, thank you for speaking.
Yes, so I would consider, when you talk about finances, to please put something back there so that the citizens can get the help. Either that or clean up your courts.
Thank you.
Clean up your courts or give us the help we need.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in public comment?
There's a hearing of here.
Yeah, that's what we.
Oh, you guys, I can tell you how the law library
Seeing
went.
none, then I will close public comment. Is there any other business to come before this committee? Commissioner Powell.
Well, I just wanted to put on record that I have had a discussion with my colleagues. I've had a discussion with one of the probate judges, and they're looking to meet with us in probably the next 60 to 90 days, us commissioners and probably a couple community people to talk about what we've been hearing come to our meetings for the last few years. And so I just wanted to put that on record. And then really me and Spears has been working in partnership to try to figure this space out with our probate. And I know that we've heard some more information that I know that we're gonna now research and figure some things out. But I just wanted to put that on our record. So I'll be in touch with you, Commissioner Spears, really soon, and the community members really soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the same information was presented at the committee prior to this one, and that was our discussion, was it possible to have a joint meeting? So,
Yep.
thank you.
So we're working on it, yeah. Me and Spears.
It's been years.
Yeah, me and Spears is working on it.
Thank you.
And just to put on record, me and Spears always kinda was interested in this with the probate. And when I first came in 2019, me and Spears did go meet with one of the judges. We both had the same sentiments when we left, but you know, some things commissioners can do and some things we can't. So I'm happy that a community group has come back to let us know about some things, and me and Commissioner Spears jumped right on it. And we're just trying to, you know, respect the judge's time frame, but we're ready to kind of kick things off.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that okay? All right, great.
Any other business? All right. Public Health and Safety meeting is closed at 11:10. Thank you, everybody.